Hey YouTube, my name is Sam and I'm from a band called Aximetrik. This is my very first tutorial. Um, I've done one in the past, but I was really young and stupid, and it's not on YouTube anymore. Though it had like 50,000 views, which is funny because I didn't know what I was doing. But yeah, let's say this one is the first one. And as you can probably hear, my English is superb, so I'm very sorry about that. I'm from Quebec City, actually, in Canada, and my first language is French. But I'm doing these in English so I can help more people than only French people. And I'm too lazy to write subtitles. Since it's my first serious tutorial, please feel free to leave a comment about anything. Anything can help me. For example, I have no gate on my voice right now. If it's annoying, that's something I can fix in the future. But yeah, this first tutorial will be mostly about mixing. A little bit of production, but mostly about mixing. And in the future there will be more how to make this sound or how to make this kick kind of tutorials, which will be more about the synth and stuff. But for today I will keep it simple. It will be about the mix, precisely about the kick, the snare and the bass mix, and this is the result to begin with. So you get the idea. So yeah, for many years I thought that the best way of mixing a bass was to simply record it as is from the beginning to the end of the track. I thought it would be more organic, more random, and better, but damn, I was wrong. Today, since like this track and another track, so it's been like only 2 tracks, what I do is I will sample each note that I will play, so there will be like only one E note, only one F sharp, only one A at a certain cutoff level, and then I will have another E, another F sharp, etc. with different settings, and I will choose only the best one to put in the mix, because what I found playing live my music was that it's really better when every bass note is like, you know, the kick, which is exactly the same every time. It's really better on the dance floor. So I will zoom in a little bit. So in this section I have quite a few. I will solo. So I recorded those and I've put them the way I want them to be in the mix, and they are exactly the same each and every time. There is no random. The first problem that will happen by not doing this will be that since each bass note is different, well, the intensity of the bass will be different, the phase will be different. That will affect all the mix. Some place in the mix will be heavier than other, you know. So yeah, what I will do will be to go in Edison and cut and fade out and stuff. So that's pretty much it for the bass. For the kick, as you saw, I used my favorite VST ever, which is Kick 2. I'm not such a sample type of guy. I don't really like samples. I like them for adding something to something that is already really good. So, for example, this kick, which we do not hear because of the mixer. Sorry about that. Yeah. So this is only from this VST, and what is awesome about this is that you have control on everything. So my track is in F sharp, well the kick is in F sharp, and every part of the kick that I want to be on F sharp or on F sharp, you have total control on your kick, and that is really important. After that, if you want to add samples, to add something to this, fine, but the essence of the kick must be perfect. Same thing for the snare. I made it with kick 2. Maybe I added samples, I don't think I did in this track, but the bass of the snare is perfect, and it is also in key in F sharp. Then something that is really important, if I zoom in, both the snare and the kick have their decay, they have their transient, and as you can see, my kick is the most important thing in the track, so it will be exactly on each kick in the track. But if I put the snare exactly on at the same time as the kick, well, the mix will distort, and then the master chain will compress that, and it will not sound good. So what I do is I put the decay of the snare just a little bit before the kick, and then when they play together, well, you need much less compression when it comes to the master chain, and it sounds clearer, and the snare is not stealing any of the snap of the kick, so the kick sounds exactly the same with and without a snare, which is really important. Then when you want to add the bass, I will put everything together again, but without the 303. If I can find it, let me play a mix. Okay. So although it's very loud, you don't hear no distortion, and that is because I'm using a plugin made by the best people in the business, Infected Mushroom, which released 2 other plugins, I Wish and Manipulator, which are amazing and which I will do tutorials on in the future. But behind the scene, they kind of release a reactor plugin, which is Kick and Bass Solver, and I will try to put it in the description of this video, a link to download this, so check it out. So yeah, let's take a look. It's a really basic plugin. If I knew how to program Reactor, which I might do in the future, maybe I will try to change some stuff, because you don't see, for example, the frequency on which you're working on, stuff like that. It's really basic. You have to use your ear, but what it does is really cool. It's like an EQ. If I take an EQ, for example, Fab Filter, this is my favorite one. If I take this EQ and do this, when the kick plays, what will happen is that we will remove some bass, and when the kick is not playing, we will put the bass back. It does just that, simple as that. But the result is amazing, because if I will use a compressor, you will lose a lot of energy, unless that's what you want to do. If you're making some music that you want to sound super compressed, and that's the way you want to do it, like G-Views, his music sounds super compressed, but that's part of the sound design. No, this might not be for you, But if you want perfect control on your mix and you want it to sound super clear, you want your bass to be sharp, your kick to be sharp all the time, this is a must. And what is really awesome is that, yes, I'm putting the bass into this, but I put pretty much every channel into it. So I have this lead playing, I have these pads, I have everything except the kick, the snare, and maybe the hi-hats. Everything goes into this. So each time the kick plays, all the mix lose its low end, and it's completely transparent for the person listening to your music. So that's really awesome, and it is really simple to set up. In FL, you create a MIDI track, and if I can find the one I used, oh, it's minimized. So you have a MIDI track, you send it to any port you want, and then choose the same port. I use 1 in this case. For this plugin it's always 1 because it's the first thing I set up in every project. Actually my template includes it. And then each time the MIDI plays, the plugin is triggered. So this is the EQ, and this is what I was talking about. You don't see the frequency to which it is applied. The same thing for the fader over here, which is the frequency. As you can see, you have an attack and a decay. You really set up everything with you here, up until you hear no crackling sound, and then it's done. Your kick and your bass are mixed together, and it's really that simple. The mixing part is that simple. Of course, there is the production part. You need a superb kick, you need a really snappy good snare, and you need good bass. And in this case it is sampled. I used an ORG lead, but if you want, you can sample a VST. You just take a DSN, record on FL, you take a DSN and you record your sound and cut it, fade out the end, and that's it. You put it and you play it like a sample. And the mix is actually done. Of course there's a master chain over this that makes everything bright and all the stuff, but you cannot master something that sounds bad, My mastering doesn't add much actually. I can show you. This is my master chain, just an EQ. Trash 2 is not used. Yeah. This was confusing. Trash 2 and this EQ are used in one part of the track where all the mix goes into something, but they're not in the mix right now. That's why. It's actually only ozone, which I really like actually. It just does what I want. So this is super simple. I have an EQ and I only did that, which was to remove a bit of high frequencies. I use a multiband compressor just to make everything more equal, but I know people like Infected Mushroom are not huge fan of compressors, but I like the sound. And then everything goes to this limiter, which in this case is set to 0 because the mix was already super loud. So what it does is actually just compress. Be sure the sound will not go over 0 dB, and that's all. So really my mastering does pretty much nothing to the sound. Amazing. Why don't we hear anything? Oh, okay. So yeah, this is actually everything come from the mastering. No, but this is with and this is without. So what it does is it just takes the mix and makes it shine. it's really all it does. So the mix is the most important part of it. The mix of your kick and the bass and the snare, to me, is the really basics of a good track. So that's why I wanted this to be my first tutorial. Really simple tutorial, just for me to get ready for more complex tutorials. So I think I've said everything. I'm checking my list right now. Talk about kick 2, record a bass, got it. Something pretty interesting. Just a tip. You do that or not doesn't change a lot, but I like it. Which is, in this case, sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. What I do is the first note on the bass track will be not as loud as the other ones. So this one is as loud, but it does the job because it has a cutoff on it. And like I said, after that I don't do it in that part of the track. But in a quiet part of the track, I will always have this with a cutoff. Or if I don't have a cutoff, well, the sound will be louder after the first one. That helps for the mix too. Sometimes kick it bass solver will not do everything. If you want your track to be a bit more pumpy, well, that's a way of doing it without a compressor. And in general, I like to work with volumes instead of compressor when I can, because I have total control on the sound, and a compressor will be more random and will not always do exactly what you want. You know, when you compress, the more you use the compressor, the less control you have, you know. So yeah. So yeah, that's it. I hope you like it. The VST by Infected Mushroom will be in the description of this video. Leave a comment. Like I said, this is my first tutorial ever, so please help me make better tutorial. And yeah, like the video, subscribe to the channel, like us on Facebook, all this shit. Thank you, and see you later.